Hey, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about ayahuasca, my first ceremony. So I had done a lot of research on what ayahuasca was and how it's going to tear my world apart and be the most crazy experience of my life. So when I got picked up that morning to go into the retreat center for the next 8 days, I can honestly say I was crapping myself. I had prepared to die, potentially. I had texted my poor mother and my poor father saying, I may never come out of this ever again or go insane, and I'm sorry, but I need to do this. And let's be honest, it's pretty scary to go into something like that, regardless, knowing that somebody's going to help you. It's still pretty freaking scary. So I get picked up and taken to the retreat center. There's already 8 other people there, so I'm coming in on my own. And that night I knew I would be doing the ceremony. So I get picked up and taken out into the Amazon, into a beautiful retreat center. And I put my stuff down, I get a tour, I learn about the diet that we're going to be having, which is no meat, no salt, no sugar, no fatty foods. It's literally going to be the most strict diet I have ever done in my entire life. And I had previously been doing what I thought was already the strictest diet in my entire life. So I get there, I wasn't allowed to eat anything because of the ceremony that night, and I basically got to meet everyone for about 30 minutes to an hour before we went in to initiate the ceremony. So we have a maloka. A maloka is what we would call a ceremonial house, where we have individual mattresses laid out with blankets on them. We have a silver bowl next to us, which is what we are able to use for vomiting. We have an ashtray with 2 mapachos, which is raw jungle tobacco rolled up and wrapped, ready for you to use. We enter the space and we're told we have an hour to prepare in silence. So I enter, we sit down, and I hadn't done much meditation, so I wasn't really aware of what this was and how to do it. And I sit there in silence, quietly observing what everyone else is doing and what the best way to do this was. After about 45 minutes, one of the facilitators comes around with a big pot of Palo Santo. Anyone who's spiritual will know that Palo Santo is used as a cleanser for a space to make sure that there's no evil spirits around. And they have a big pot and they swing it around the whole maloka to ward off any evil spirits. The shamans start to bless the ayahuasca in the cups. So they pick it up and they smoke their mapacho and they sing an icaros into the cup that the ayahuasca is in. And then the facilitator will take the only candlelight in the center of the room outside and extinguish it, leaving us in pitch black silence in the middle of the jungle in this beautiful wooden maloka. Inside the maloka as well, I forgot to say that only half of the wall is built. The rest is mosquito nets, and so you've got perfect audio of the jungle, and also so you've got a nice fresh breeze coming through, because it does get very hot there, which means that air conditioning is not used. And 3 by 3, we all go up to get our shot of ayahuasca and blessed and breathe our intentions out into it. So I go up and I drink the ayahuasca, and I know I have to hold this in my stomach for 45 minutes for it to even have an effect. So I drink this stuff. It tastes like dirty water, maybe like a stout ale. It's really not pleasant, and you can definitely tell you've drank something that is crazy. So I went and sat down on my mattress and I sat up nice and straight, and I was like, I need to hold this for 45 minutes. I will know when, because the shamans will start to sing their icaros, which are their songs, and then I can start to vomit should I need to. We all sit down and it's silence, and you can hear everyone's stomach kind of grumbling a little bit. Inside me, I felt like I drank a snake, and it was kind of moving in a weird kind of way inside my body and doing all these crazy things. And it didn't make me too nauseous though, which I thought was a good thing. So I'm sat there nervously waiting for something to kick in and me to get transported to another world. Which I want to say for anybody watching this who has not done ayahuasca, please don't research it too much, because you will put so many expectations on it and you will be disappointed. That goes with anything in life, but it's nothing more true than with psychedelics and ayahuasca and things like that, because these plant medicines will choose what to show you more so than what you want to be shown. And if you are putting all these expectations to go to a specific place or see a specific thing, the likelihood of you seeing or experiencing that is very slim. I found this out tonight. After an hour and a half, everyone was vomiting and started tripping. The facilitators kept coming up and asking me if I was okay, and I'm just sat there like, yeah, I'm sweet, like nothing's happening. So they get me to drink about 150 milliliters of water. After that, I start throwing up because it rejigs everything in your stomach, and it just really helps ayahuasca to vomit out. So I'd vomit, and 20 minutes later, they would ask if I want another dose of ayahuasca. So I said yes. An hour and a half goes by, still nothing. So again, with the water, I drink and then I vomit. Everyone else is either groaning in their own world, laying down, going through really bad emotions and like getting a bit irate with themselves, or like, you know, fidgety. Some people were vomiting, some people were going to the toilet, some people were doing both at the same time. Luckily, anyone that needed to go to the toilet made it to the toilet, not in the actual room. And then I was just sat there observing like this. I think my problem with that was I am far too switched on to other people, in the sense that I am an empath and I will feel everything that anyone else feels, rather than allowing myself to feel what I feel. Which can be quite frustrating in terms of psychedelics, because I need to learn to relax to be able to experience them, and if I'm around other people, I can't really experience them. Or if I do, something crazy happens, which I will discuss in a later video. So everyone kind of gets out their trip, out the main part, and they go and sit down in their beds, or they can make it back to their huts, and you know, each shaman would sing an Icaros individually for you as you would go up and sit with them, and I did that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty disappointed that nothing had happened, because I geared myself up, I paid a lot of money, and I put a lot of effort into this being something that was meant to fix me. And it hadn't that night. And I mean, we went to sleep, I fell asleep, and I probably dreamt a lot more vivid than I would normally, but I didn't have any crazy experiences. And the next morning I spoke to them about that, and we started doing steam baths for me with a bunch of different plants from the jungle, with a hot steaming pot, and I would have to sit with it between my legs, and I'd have to make sure that I was sat far enough back on the stool for obvious reasons, because it was boiling hot. And I had to wrap myself in a plastic sheet in 34 degrees, 90% humidity, where I was basically cooking myself. And it was really funny, because once you take that wrap off, like 34 degrees and like 90% humidity felt cold. So we started doing those in preparation for the next ceremony, in the hopes that I would be able to start to experience something a bit more. I'd spoken to other people in the ceremony, and everybody else had an experience of some type, so I knew that. So I look forward to telling you all about my ceremony in the next video, which was probably the more intense of all three that I have had, until I get to San Pedro again. So thank you for watching and keeping up to date with this, and I look forward to sharing my next experience with you.